sitting over here, by the way. We're going to leave the door open.
Oh, okay. Oh, you got to come back around here. Hey, it works. I can hear myself.
There you go. We're live, so people can hear me too.
Oh, hi, people.
They can't see yet because I've got the thing up.
Are we on Facebook?
We are not because we missed our Facebook window. Sometimes that's just the way it goes. You miss that. Facebook's a little bit of a bitch like that.
Yeah. That has something to do with the ownership.
Well, yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's all right, good.
Yes.
We're just gonna. Everybody's pumping in now. We're just getting everything squared away here. I can't hear these headphones.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, I just heard you, but I can't hear me. So.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Why can't I hear me? Those are on. Level. Boy, that's weird. We're plugged in. Is there? Oh, that's why.
There you go.
It's the wrong mic cable.
Oops.
There we go. Hold on here. It's behind the scenes stuff. All right. There we go. And turn. Which headphones are? There we go. Man.
I can hear you.
All right, I can hear me too, so that's a good sign. Yeah, the live peeps are getting a little extra bonus here, so hey, welcome in everybody live. This will not be on the audio podcast as I have not hit record yet on the audio board. So, yeah, it's all behind. This is all behind the scenes stuff.
I was praying for humidity today. That's how hot it is out here.
You were praying for humidity?
Yes.
Did you check your armpits? 'Cause that's where your humidity is.
Just because the heat was so harsh.
And it's not even that hot. It's
like halitosis.
It's bad. It's bad because there was, it was like 93 at a certain point today.
Yeah.
And it felt much hotter than that. And I was like, well, this is going to be one of those days. And of course it is. All right, here we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome into another episode of the WTH podcast. My name is Nate. That is Kareem. And this big empty space is Jason. Jason's on vacation.
Vacation.
Family vacation. Upstate New York. In Elise Stefanik's district. Sure he's having a great time. Miss you, Jason. Coming up on the show today. By the way, the title of this episode is There Is No More Quiet Part.
No.
They're not saying the quiet part out loud because there's no quiet part anymore. We've mentioned that on the show before, and we'll get to all of that. We've got some positive news as well. Maybe a bit of hope. We'll see. We'll go through it all and see how it all sort of hits us. I mean, that's really all you can do, right?
That's it.
All right, Kareem, what would you like to talk about?
Oh, God. What do I want? It is hot as balls.
Yep.
It is so hot here today that I didn't even want to leave my office. And like I was just telling you, I was praying for humidity.
Yeah.
Because it gives you some relief. There's no relief.
I don't know that humidity gives you relief.
I don't know. It gives you an extra some. It gives you some sweat.
It does, but I mean, if you can't sweat when it's 100 degrees,
Yeah, but this is just hard. This is just hard. I felt like I walked out today and I felt like I looked directly at the Ark of the Covenant. My skin just started to melt on my face.
yeah, it's been warm long enough that the pavement doesn't cool off.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big thing, is because you can feel it radiating up too. So it's coming at you from both sides. It's like you're being air fried.
Yeah.
Is really the deal. You're being air fried. Welcome to Sacramento.
It's just hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd said that to my brother, and he was like, "Well, what did Noah say?" I was like, "Noah said it's too hot for any more niggas to get on the boat." That's how hot it is.
You can say that. I'm not going to say that. It's going to be hot. It's going to be hot all week, so buckle in.
Yes.
It's Monday night as we record this. It is July 11th.
July 11th, yeah.
7-Eleven day.
My goddaughter's 22nd birthday was yesterday.
Oh.
And I felt old.
Yeah.
I was the first person to keep her overnight. So I kept her for like a weekend, and we went to the zoo. And I didn't sleep. I slept like 20 minutes the first night.
Right.
Because I kept waking up like, is she breathing?
Yeah. Yeah, I know that feeling. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Is especially when they're really young.
Yeah. So she was probably about 6 months old.
Yep, that's prime. Are they breathing age?
Yeah. And I was like, is she breathing? Like her, her mom forced me to interact with her. Like I had some kid experience, but I didn't have like baby experience.
Mm-hmm.
And every day that I went to the house, her mom would, as soon as I would get in the house, she would give her to me. And she was like, I'm going to make you not be afraid of her.
Yeah. Yeah. I had no baby experience when we got our baby. None. Not a bit. Not an iota. Nothing. Hey, my wife just got home. I got a notification on the cameras. So, 6:42. Anywho, it was petrifying. Like we got her on a Thursday night, and my wife stayed home Friday from work, and was there Saturday and Sunday. And I knew full well Monday it was all me.
Yeah.
All day. I'd never changed a diaper. Never, not once in my life, changed a diaper. And 3 days later, it's like, here is a less than 2-week-old child.
Yeah.
I believe she was 8 days old at that point.
Wow.
So she was just over a week old. And I think it was day 2. I think it was day 2 that I had her by myself, that I went, because we had gone to look at recliners at RC Willey, and we decided we wanted some, but we didn't pull the trigger that day. And Leslie said, hey, can you go out to RC Willey and do get the deal done, make sure that those are the ones, buy those. So 9 days old, I'm throwing her in the car and going to a store. It was terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Now, shortly thereafter, that was one of the favorite things to do, because she loved being in the store. She loved seeing stuff. And, as she got older, she was like 6 months. 6 months old was like prime.
Yeah.
Sit in the cart and look at stuff age. And then about the time she turned a year old, COVID hit.
Yeah.
Which, that was a real bummer. But last week, both the kids got their first COVID shot.
Cool.
So their next one is, they ask you, and they do this. They go, do you want Pfizer or Moderna? Pfizer or Moderna? And I go, what's the difference? We can't advise you which one to take. Like, what? But you're the medical people. What do you mean you can't advise me? The only thing they would say is Pfizer is 3 shots and Moderna is 2 shots.
Okay.
That's literally all they would say.
Yeah.
Now, I know that Pfizer got its emergency approval a couple of days before Moderna.
Yeah.
That's literally all I know. And I got Pfizer. So, with absolutely no guidance from the medical community, I said, let's give them Pfizer. So they get the next shot's August 1st, and then 2 months after that, they can get the 3rd shot.
Oh, okay.
So that's how that works. And of course, I got back home and I was talking to my wife, and she said, I probably would have picked Moderna just because it's only 2 shots.
That sounds right.
So they're getting 3 shots, and it's like, well,
you're gonna be taking them anyway. So
say la vie. I mean, that's really the deal with the whole thing. But yeah, they were champs with it. By the way, don't ever show up at the doctor's office. We like you to show up 15 minutes early. Yeah, I'd like for you to take me in when it's the appointment time, but you don't.
15 minutes later than the appointment time.
Correct. Absolutely, positively. Now, 15 minutes later than the second appointment time.
Ooh.
So they had an appointment at 8:40 or 9:40? 9:40 and 9:50. And it was 10:05 when they brought us back to get the shots. And the first thing that we do, of course, when we get into the room is I have to answer all of the questions that I've already answered on all of the forms. And then the nurse tells me, okay, I'm going to go and get the vaccinations ready. And I'm thinking, why didn't you have that done?
Yeah.
10 minutes later, he rolls back in. Yes, male nurse. Rolls back in, and he goes, I always get the hard jobs, because he's looking at these 2 little kids. They're 1 and 3, and they're cute.
Yeah.
And I go, they'll be fine. They're tough. Don't worry about it. They've had their shots. You know what they don't like? Sitting here waiting for you.
No, that is a bad thing.
You got a 3-year-old who just wants to touch everything, wants to be on the floor. The 1-year-old, he's pretty cool because, whatever, but he's still yelling because that's his thing. He yells now.
Oh, okay.
Not always because he's mad.
Just because.
Just because.
Just to hear his voice.
Just to hear what his voice sounds like in a different room. I brought him into the bathroom with me here today because I had an urgent need to go. And I'm like, all right. And he gets in the bathroom and he yells and he can hear his voice echo. So he just starts yelling more and more. And then he only stops yelling to laugh. So yeah, they were fine. They were fine. They showed there were no side effects. They showed none of the symptoms, which are just, the side effect symptoms, if they have them, are like having a cold, and neither of them showed any of those. So it all went well. So that was done. That makes me happy. It means we can start thinking about traveling a little bit. We're going to go back and see my dad in September. And, at least there's a new variant coming.
Yeah, I saw that today.
The Ninja variant.
Yes. Great.
Thank you, all of you assholes who won't get vaccinated. And they're like, we the people. By the way, okay. I wasn't going to do this. The we the people. You know the we the people.
Yeah.
These fucking idiots. They like to put that on Twitter. We the people. You know where that's from, right? It is the first part of the preamble to the Constitution of the United States.
Okay.
We, the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and promote the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America. They have taken we the people and applied it to our gigantic selfish pricks. When that is the lead line of a 3-sentence statement that includes promote the general welfare.
Yeah.
What do you assholes think that means? All of these people, also sad. What about these service members? They're being discharged because they're not blah, 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 blah.
As someone who was a service member, you know what you're signing up for.
What, like 15, 20 vaccinations?
At the minimum.
And suddenly you're going to be like, well, I'm not going to take that one.
No, you're not.
Exactly. So you're going to get dishonorably discharged if you do that.
Exactly. So here's what these people want, or all these we the people.
Fuck them.
They want chaos, and they don't understand that that's what they're asking for.
No, they think they're asking for freedom and liberty,
which means chaos.
To that, that's what what they're asking for is chaos. Yes.
That's what it leads to. So if you have people that don't want to work, won't go to work, or want to go to work and do what they want to do, guess what? Nothing gets done.
Well, here's the other side of that that's really interesting. You say that, but the we the people are the ones that bitched and moaned the hardest about the fact that all of these employers aren't able to find workers. They're like, well, no one wants to work. We the people, blah, 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 blah. Well, and the other part of it is like, well, they say they're not forcing us to get vaccines, but if you want to travel, you have to get a vaccine. And if you want to do this, you have to get a vaccine. So blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, bitch, it's called consequences.
That's everywhere.
That is called consequences. By the way, do you want to go to Canada? You have to have a vaccine or they will not let you in.
So these we the people, everything in this life, everything in this world is consequences.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who told you that there's not.
Right.
But everything, every decision that you make in every instance of your existence is consequences.
Mm-hmm.
Just you can't get away from that and breathing.
Right. And taxes.
Like you can't get away from those things. There are consequences.
Mm-hmm.
And you said the military people. Well, guess what? If I'm in a foxhole or if I am tasked to have a duty and we're tasked to go take that hill, we have to be in one accord on how we do that.
Mm-hmm.
I know y'all like to watch movies like Rambo and stuff and people go and do their own thing. Like, no. Everybody has to be on the same page. And if that person goes off to the side to do, that person is drawing fire.
Well, and Rambo doing his own thing was because he was by himself.
Right.
If you watch the First Blood, by himself. When the other Rambo movies where he's going to Afghanistan, he is a lone wolf going in to do something. So that's why he can do that.
Right. Everybody has to be on accord. If you want anything to work in the society, if you want your roads built right,
mm-hmm.
it has to be done. If you bought a new house or somebody's building your house, you don't want two plumbers that are doing shit not the way that your architect designed it.
That's why there's building codes.
Like there are consequences for every fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who's learning that? Look, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, who were we the people.
Oh boy!
Right now, they're understanding there are consequences because nobody wants Kyrie but the Lakers.
And I don't even know why they want him.
It's,
I have no idea why they want them.
it's LeBron.
LeBron knows the headache that he is.
He knows the headache that he is, and that might be it. And the other reason I would do that trade is he doesn't fix all the holes that they have.
No.
So, but he's understanding that there are consequences.
Mhm.
Now, Kevin Durant, who said, "I want to trade," well, you can't you can't bring another rookie max deal onto the Brooklyn Nets. So you only have a minimum amount of people that he can be traded to in order for Brooklyn to get back what they want.
Well, and this is not the first time that he has wanted to be traded.
Right. But again, there are consequences.
By the way, to everybody who, and this isn't just going to be about basketball, but we're gonna talk a little bit of basketball. To everybody who wants to talk shit about Steph Curry and about how Steph Curry was going to fade away if Kevin Durant hadn't showed up, how many rings does Kevin Durant have without Steph Curry?
0.
And how many does Steph Curry have without Kevin Durant?
So I think it's 3.
Yeah.
So
He does not need Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant needs a top-level superstar, actually multiples, because did he win when he had Russell Westbrook?
Kevin Durant does not want to be the man making decisions.
Kevin Durant is not the man.
No, he's not. He does not want to be. He doesn't want to be the man. He just wants to hoop, which is cool.
It's cool, but if you don't want to be the man and you just want to hoop, then maybe you shouldn't be being paid like you're the man.
Exactly.
If you're like, I want to get traded, I want to do that, there, again, consequences. Consequences.
Just consequences.
And to the Nets, good luck with that shit show.
Yes.
Oh, man.
And
You got rid of Harden.
yes. And then I said this, and somebody said I was crazy. I said the NBA owners are now back at the point where they're like, nah, we're not doing any more of this shit. We're gonna set our standards and we're gonna go through those, and that's what the Nets are doing right now.
Right.
But again, consequences. They had a culture. They blew it up for 2 big name stars.
Mm-hmm.
It's turned into a shit show, and they're going back to what they had that worked. Consequences.
Mm-hmm. All right. I want to talk about something good. So far, it looks like the Kings' #1 pick, Keegan Murray, is something good.
Tried to tell you.
Now, we're talking about the California Classic and Summer League game. So we're still a little early on the process. But so far, the reviews have been good. The Kings brought in Kevin Huerter and Malik Monk. And I listened to their joint press conference that they had. They sound like they're excited to be in town, as they should sound.
Yes.
Especially the guy who signed as a free agent. The guy that got traded here, he's just going to put the best spin on it.
Yeah.
So is it okay to be optimistic about the Kings? Now, I asked this as someone who was going through Facebook photos a few weeks ago, and there was a sign company on J Street. I can't remember if they're still there or not. And this would have been 8 years ago?
Yeah.
8 or 9 years ago. There was a sign that they had up on the outside of their building, a vinyl sign that they had made that talked about the Kings playoff bound. And I posted it on Facebook. It comes up in my memories every year. My comment was, not so quick. And man, has that proven to be one of my most correct Facebook posts ever, because it has been more than 15 years since the Kings have found themselves in the playoffs. Can we be up? Is there hope? And I say that as someone whose baseball team has had the worst record in major leagues since May 25th. Yeah. They were 11 games over 500. They are now 11 games under 500. And they have done that in 6 weeks.
Yeah, I saw they got swept over the weekend. And
in Baltimore. They went on a road trip and won 1 game. 1. And they creatively find new ways to lose almost every day. 1-0. Their games they lose 1-0 where they completely don't back up a pitcher who just pitches his heart out. There are games they lose 9-1, 8-1. They lose 5-4 games where the closer gives up a walk-off. I'm like, fuck me. Can I look forward to the Kings season?
I just see what other moves they make. Because Monty says they have more moves.
Sure.
And I have to be somewhat optimistic by the picks that he's made up until this point.
True. Now, he's traded a lot of them away.
Yeah.
But has gotten return.
He's gotten return. I am disappointed in the Halliburton trade still because I think he could have got more out of that trade.
I don't know. I mean, you got an all-star back. You got rid of some really bad contracts, which, I mean, getting rid of Buddy Hield's contract was a huge bonus because dude was making a pile of money to just throw up prayers.
Yeah.
So it's more than just the players you got back. It's the salary that you got rid of, that you freed off of your books. I mean, the only thing that basically what they did was they said, you know what? We want to move forward with De'Aaron Fox. Or what they said was, we can't get anybody to give us anything for De'Aaron Fox and his max contract.
Yeah.
So we're going to stick with De'Aaron Fox. He's our guy.
Yes.
Because there are consequences to giving De'Aaron Fox a max deal. We'll see. Maybe he steps into it and really develops with a better supporting cast around him.
I hope so.
We all do.
Well, I think that if he doesn't make it with Malik Monk on the team, then
and Kevin Herter and everybody else, there is a team around him now.
Yeah,
and we'll see.
Yeah,
this is not a team that plays great defense,
right? At
all, at any position.
And that's the thing. That is the thing with him is for the skill set that he has, he should be a great defensive player.
Yeah. What it tells me is he does not want to expend energy on the defensive end for whatever reason.
He should be a great on-ball. For somebody as fast and as quick as he is, he should be a great on-ball defender. He should be as good of a defender as the backup point guard,
Davion Mitchell.
The two of them should be able to stop somebody from getting the ball half court. He should have that level of defense for the skill set that he has. But we'll see if he puts in that work on that end of the court.
Well, and then that's the thing is it takes effort, and you could argue if you're putting out that much effort on the defensive end, you're not going to have the energy on the offensive end.
And Keegan plays both ends of the court.
Right.
Yeah. And I was impressed with the 7-footer that we drafted in the second round last year. I can't remember. Can't pronounce the last name.
I don't know.
Yeah. So they took Orlando to overtime, and the 7-footer hit a 3-pointer. Orlando tried to inbound the ball. Murray got a steal and hit another 3-pointer, and that sent the game to overtime. So promising. We'll see how it works out
when the real games
start.
Because that's the thing. Summer league doesn't mean shit.
Well, it lets you know whether some people, if you can shoot, you can shoot.
Right. But can you shoot with somebody in your face?
Keegan has proven that he can shoot with somebody in your face.
In college?
No, in summer league.
It's okay. All right, moving on. Elon Musk not buying Twitter.
Nope.
That's he's backed out of the deal. So he now owes Twitter $1 billion, which I think is kind of a problem because if you can go, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to eat this $1 billion. You probably have too much money. Not to be a pocket watcher, but you probably have too much money.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing about Elon Musk that is troubling. Elon Musk appears to be trying to repopulate the earth by himself. I'm not making that up. He actually tweeted this. Doing my best to help the underpopulation crisis. A collapsing birth rate is the biggest danger civilization faces by far.
Yeah.
Here's the problem, and you know this as well as I do, because I sent you this message and you said, yeah, absolutely. Elon Musk means white babies. He means white babies because I don't know how to put this without saying Elon Musk is probably being racist, allegedly.
Yeah.
There is not a collapsing birth rate overall.
Nope.
There are enough people being born in the world. There are more and more of them who are black and brown or mixed because, you know, people like Clarence Thomas have been interracial marriage. You know, progressive Clarence Thomas interracial marrying all over the place. Yeah, this is part of what we've talked about with the abortion thing. There is not a underpopulation crisis.
No, it's not. So my brother just came back from a cruise. My brother and sister-in-law, and my brother's from North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some interracial dating going on, but there's not
Okay.
not to the level of where we are.
Sure.
And he was like, it was all over the cruise ship.
Yeah.
So it's coming. I mean, it's happening, and it's like I said, you're right. And it's not today. There's not enough babies being born. There's just not enough white babies being born.
And that is what he meant. Let's not forget, Elon Musk is South African.
Yes.
And Elon Musk is old enough that he grew up in apartheid South Africa, where white people kept black people in horrific conditions.
Yes.
It was the most racist country in terms of policy. Well into, what was it, the 90s?
The 90s, yeah.
It was the 90s. Nelson Mandela, who eventually became president of South Africa, was in prison for 27 years. 27 years.
Yeah. And most of that was in solitary confinement.
Right. This is where Elon Musk comes from. So knowing that, it's not surprising that he would be speaking this way.
Yeah.
But it should give people pause when they start talking about how great Elon Musk is, because we can go back and forth over how he got rich and how he did all of that, and what level of actual genius he brings to it.
Yeah.
But this is a real problem. This is the type of racist shit. The quiet part out loud is not quiet. It's not. It's out there everywhere. This is a billionaire head of Tesla, SpaceX, and that other one that no one gives a shit about that does tunnels.
Yeah.
And he's out here talking about white underpopulation like it's a cool thing to do. Be aware who you're rolling with. Now, the We the People were very upset when Elon backed out of the Twitter deal, because he was coming to save them all and reinstate Donald Trump to Twitter and all this other shit. He trolled them. Now, I don't know if he had any intention of buying Twitter to begin with, or if this was just all a fuck around and see what happens sort of deal, because the dude must have an ego and loves to have it stroked in the way that the right-wing people were doing.
Oh, yeah.
For the past 4 months. Elon's coming to save us. Oh gosh, Elon Musk is going to save the world of Twitter for people who like to say hateful things. And he's not. So there you go.
And he had no intentions on buying Twitter.
Yeah, it's I mean, it was a lot of money. Anyway, let's go now. This was a story I found very interesting. There is a state senator from Rhode Island. Her name is Tiara Mack, and she is standing by the viral TikTok of her twerking on a beach. So here's what she had to say. This is the TikTok, and she's doing it, standing on her head, twerking.
Vote Senator Mack.
That's the TikTok. Here's what she had to say about it.
Over 11.
Oh, hold on. There's an ad on Fox. So you gotta get through this for a second. She's not backing down, and she went on TMZ to tell them about it. So this is going to raise her profile even more. So good move on her part.
Yeah.
Because if she now Rhode Island doesn't have that many people in Congress, but for her, this raises her profile up. Now, I don't know if she wants to go to Congress or what, but we'll see.
I am not going to apologize for being myself and for living a joyful life and for being unapologetically myself in every instance and enjoying a beautiful day off. I am not going to apologize for showing exactly and telling exactly who I am every single step of the way of my campaign. For the folks who voted for me, they know that Tiara Mack is a silly, authentic, and sometimes bold leader. I will not apologize for being who I am. I will not apologize for fiercely leading my community with a new and fresh voice and mobilizing more people to stand up for their rights alongside me. I will not apologize for showing young queer Black women that they can live a joyful life and still make a positive impact in their community. And I will not apologize for being able to do a headstand. And I will not apologize for, having enough cake to twerk.
She's not apologizing, Kareem.
Apparently not.
And here's the thing. It wouldn't matter if she did apologize because the people who are mad about it, an apology is not going to do anything.
No.
For those people. It just won't, because that's not they're not here for that. They're here to try and shame her.
Yes.
That's literally what they are here for. So good for her. I will say this. You sent me this. Rex Chapman tweeted this. He tweets a lot of stuff. Don't hit a woman. Don't hit a woman. There's a white dude, middle-aged white dude. Now, maybe a little older than middle-aged. He has a polo shirt with a pocket on the front, and the pocket has a glasses case in it.
Yeah.
He is talking to this African-American lady, and for some reason, he smacks her.
Well, he got in her face. So I saw another version of the video, the one that I sent you. So part of the problem was he got directly in her face the first time.
Sure.
And so she punched him for being in her face. And then he moved back, and then he came back and got back in her face.
And then this happened.
This man is assaulting her.
What's wrong with you, motherfucker?
He assaulted her. I'm recording it right now.
What the fuck is wrong with you? What?
Yes.
What? No, get his ass back. No, get him the fuck back. I'm sick of these fucking crackers. I'm sick of the crackers. No, get him the fuck back. No, hell no. Get him the fuck back. Move. No, fuck no. Get him the fuck back. You gonna hit me? Move. Move. I'm sick of you crackers. I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm gonna.
So the people around whisked him into the restaurant. So when he slapped her, and then he turned around and she just boxed his ear a good one.
Yeah.
Knocked his ass silly. And then he's like, well, she hit me first. And that's when she lost it.
Yeah. So Black women aren't white women.
Don't hit women.
Just a FYI, they will fight. I used to tell this joke and said the reason why white men don't date, so white men never date out of their weight class.
Yeah.
But you'll see a small Mexican with a 5'8", 220-pound woman. And black women will beat your ass if you're not ready.
Well, if you don't
don't hit anybody.
Right.
Because I saw another video today of a lady that was working and she got beat up by this other lady, and she went behind the counter and got a gun and shot the lady that beat her ass. And then people were like, "Oh, she was a punk for getting a gun." Like, no, you were stupid for starting a fight with somebody and not knowing what they had.
Right. Well, hey, Second Amendment.
She didn't hit you first.
Second Amendment.
She did not. She was not the person who laid hands first.
Yeah.
You started it. She ended it.
The Sarasota Herald Tribune in Florida is running an op-ed from someone who looks like a nice regular mom who wants you to know that the Proud Boys are just a friendly, normal group of well-intentioned dads.
She would have took her kids to lynchings back in the 60s.
Well, in the oh snap, it's apparently gone. Anywho, the Twitter feed I was looking at, someone later on in the feed said, yeah, she's actually married to a member of the Proud Boys.
Okay, that explains it.
She's like, well, they're good dads, and they're standing up and talking at school boards. You know what? I don't want the Proud Boys talking at school board meetings.
Nope.
You know why? Because they're a bunch of racist, small dick energy motherfuckers. And their viewpoints are so fucking backwards and reprehensible that they shouldn't be represented in an educational forum. I'm sorry. Not everybody should have a voice at the fucking school board.
And again, she would have took her kids to lynchings.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people would have. All right, so you remember Mayor Pete Buttigieg?
Yes.
Now the Secretary of Transportation. Secretary Buttigieg, he went on Fox News, as he did when he was campaigning, to answer their stupid questions. And he, as always, handled it quite well.
Her husband tweeted after Justice Brett Kavanaugh left a Washington restaurant due to protesters. The tweet reads, "Sounds like he just wanted some privacy to make his own dining decisions." Is that appropriate, sir?
Look, when public officials go into public life, we should expect two things. One, you should always be free from violence, harassment, and intimidation. And two, you're never going to be free from criticism or peaceful protest, people exercising their First Amendment rights. Okay. And that's what happened in this case. Remember, the justice never even came into contact with these protesters, reportedly didn't see or hear them. And these protesters are upset because a right, an important right that the majority of Americans support, was taken away. Understood. Not only the right to choose, by the way, but this justice was part of the process of stripping away the right to privacy. As long as I've been alive, settled case law in the United States has been that the Constitution protected a right to privacy, and that has now been thrown out the window by justices, including Justice Kavanaugh, who, as I recall, swore up and down in front of God and everyone, including the United States Congress, that they were going to leave settled case law alone. So yes, people are upset. They're going to exercise their First Amendment rights. And as long as that's peaceful, that's protected. Compare that, for example, to the reality that as a country, right now, we're reckoning with the fact that a mob summoned by the former president,
all right, well, let me follow up, Mr. Secretary,
attacked the United States Capitol for the purpose of overthrowing the election and very nearly succeeded in preventing the peaceful transfer of power. But I think common sense can tell the difference.
But as a high-profile public figure, sir, are you comfortable with protesters protesting when you and your husband go to dinner at a restaurant?
Protesting peacefully outside in a public space? Sure. Look, I can't even tell you the number of spaces, venues, and scenarios where I've been protested. And the bottom line is this. Any public figure should always be free from violence, intimidation, and harassment, but should never be free from criticism or people exercising their First Amendment rights.
Pretty clear.
Pretty clear.
You gotta take it to the people.
And he wasn't even, the people weren't even in the restaurant. That's the thing.
Well, and that's the funny thing about it is that was not because I didn't look into it that greatly because I don't give a shit if someone protests Brett Kavanaugh.
Fuck Brett Kavanaugh.
It's not okay to threaten his life.
No.
At all.
No.
But if you want to protest outside the Mortons, and by the way, fuck Mortons.
Yeah, and if he fell on the plunger and it stuck him in the ass, like,
look, I didn't, like I said, I didn't know that he did not see or hear the protesters. Morton, the staff at Morton's whisked him out the back door when he went to leave. So he just took a different route back to his car. That's the impact that had.
yeah.
And I get that he might be a little bit squirrely after the death threat. But let's calm down with all of these people were targeting Brett Kavanaugh and blah, 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 blah.
And let's be real about those people. The people that killed those people aren't Democratic nuts.
No.
No. It's generally one of their own.
Oftentimes, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the thing, and the reason that Buttigieg goes on Fox News, and he did it during the campaign, is there is a huge percentage of people, specifically in the middle of the country, and especially over the age of 55, that will not watch anything besides Fox News.
Yep.
So if you want to talk to them, you have to go where they are, and he does it in a way that is respectful. He doesn't talk down to anybody. He doesn't. He's not snarky.
Yeah.
I mean, he was real close to snark in there.
He was close. Yeah.
He was close. He was walking up to the snark line, but he doesn't get on there. He doesn't get snarky. He doesn't talk down to people. He keeps it factually based, and it's hard for people on the other side to shit on what he's saying because he's going through the facts.
Yeah.
And they're undisputable facts. And when he went down the January 6th way, and they're like, whoa, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
He still finished his thought.
Yeah.
He did not stop. He finished his thought, which is important because a lot of times what will happen is people will stop talking. Now, on some Fox shows, if you do that, they'll just start yelling over you.
That's generally what happens.
Right. But this is the news part of Fox News. I saw somebody tweeting about how, well, Tucker Carlson had this on his show. It's like, bitch, Tucker Carlson, his own network defended him in a lawsuit saying no one can take Tucker Carlson's show seriously as news.
No one should believe him.
So don't be coming here on Twitter talking about the great thing that Tucker Carlson had in the first segment of his show. And by the way, Dinesh D'Souza and your 2000 Mules documentary, fuck you. And he tweeted about how much education he had. It's like, you know what else you have? A felony for election tampering. Now, you were pardoned for it, but because you were pardoned and you accepted it, that means you have admitted guilt.
Yes.
You have admitted guilt. So don't care. And I don't care how many schools you went to. That doesn't mean that you're not just rolling out a load of bullshit.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, can we hope for justice?
We can.
I would like to hope for justice. We have some news very, very recently. A judge has ordered Lindsey Graham to appear before a grand jury in Georgia in their election tampering case. Now, Lindsey Graham put in a call to the Georgia Secretary of State before Donald Trump did. Now, Donald Trump's call was recorded. Lindsey Graham's was not. But once Lindsey called, they started recording these.
So the same way I told y'all Ted Cruz that Donald Trump got something on Ted Cruz, Donald Trump had something on Lindsey Graham.
Oh, I would almost bet on it.
His buddy from the National Enquirer has something on Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz. Dollars to donuts. Because he didn't even have to inject himself in that at all. Like there's no reason for him to be involved in that at all.
Right. It was just really weird that he would just randomly start calling. It's like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah, like what? Yeah.
You at least had a modicum of respect as a U.S. senator.
Yeah.
and all gone. All gone.
Yeah.
All gone. Look, everybody who Donald Trump, quote unquote, has something on should fucking come out and just spill it.
You might as well.
Because, one, he can't hold it over you anymore. And two, it's probably not as bad as you think it is.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
It's probably stuff that people are like, oh, yeah, we figured that already.
Well, now, maybe not. Maybe it's criminal shit.
It could be criminal shit.
It could be criminal shit. But.
Like having a prostitute or getting a prostitute elected to the U.S. Senate.
She's in the house.
Or the house, yeah.
Allegedly. Prostitute. Anyway. But Ted Cruz turned before that, so don't forget that. Justice Michael Flynn has been notified by the Army that it wants to recoup thousands of dollars from him for accepting foreign payments without disclosing them.
And he should be court-martialed, and all of his benefits should be removed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you're waiting for, Army.
I don't know either.
Because I've seen people get court-martialed and busted down for less. I do not understand. Oh, his brother's still in the DOJ. Not the DOJ. Was it the DOD?
Right.
So that might be the thing that's keeping his shit intact.
It might be, but that shouldn't be able. You should not be able to do that.
No, yeah.
That's not the way it should work.
Yes. And matter of fact, if you can find out that he said something, you should bust his ass and send his ass to Leavenworth since he's still an active member of the United States military.
Oh yeah, there's that.
Yes. So,
Donald Trump, who may be facing consequences, we'll see. We'll see if Georgia is the one that does it. The January 6th committee, we'll see if everything they're unearthing leads to anything from the Department of Justice.
if we can keep the midterms, I think he'll suffer consequences. Because I think there's enough people who understand the threat that he is now, that if the Democrats hold through the midterms, that they won't let the rest of the Democrats not do anything.
Maybe indeed. I mean, what sort of threat is he? I mean, he's out there.
That should be running their city.
Hold on. Let's go back. He was in Vegas, and here's what he said.
One regret I have as president is that I let Democrats that should be running their cities do their job on crime. Instead of saying, I'm going to do your job for you, because we could have stopped crime very easily by being very tough and very smart. I wouldn't do that a second time, I will tell you, because we're not going to let that happen to our cities.
What he's saying is if he runs again and gets elected again, if you have a city with a Democratic mayor and there's a Black Lives Matter protest, he's going to roll the military into town. That's what he's saying. Now that's illegal.
Yes.
But that's what he's saying. There's no quiet part of anything.
No.
They're saying it out loud for all to hear.
And for all you people that don't believe them or think that they're just talking shit, or they think that, oh, they're doing it to somebody else, so it's not going to affect me, it never ends the way you think it is.
Clarence Thomas. What's going to happen, Kareem, when they move along? And we've heard people, not on the Supreme Court, but people in this talking about Roe versus Wade is only the beginning. We need to keep rolling stuff back. And they're talking about interracial marriage as well.
Missouri. I think it was a legislator in Missouri. They're going to bring the laws that's going to take it to that court. And that court has already proven that they will side with anything that any Republican brings to them.
Now, if Clarence Thomas goes, whoa, 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 I'm married to a white lady. We can't do this. This is a bridge too far. You still lose 5-4.
Yep.
Clarence Thomas is going to find out. If this keeps going, he is going to find out that he has hitched his wagon to the wrong shooting star.
Find out he's black. That's what Clarence is going to find out.
It's going to be bad. You know what else is bad? Herschel Walker.
You got rid of the pipeline. Get rid of the pipeline. Get rid of our energy. Start this downfall. Because we need energy for everything. Do y'all know that? And they were talking about the Green New Deal. You know, climate change. I'm going to help y'all with that real quickly. And I'm going to do it in the Wrightsville way so you can understand what I'm saying. We, in America, have some of the cleanest air and cleanest water of anybody in the world. So what we do is we're going to put from the Green New Deal
Not much longer.
millions or billions of dollars cleaning our good air up. So all of a sudden China and India ain't putting nothing in there cleaning that situation up. So all their bad air is still there. But since we don't control the air, our good air decided to float over to China, bad air. So when China gets our good air, their bad air gotta move. So it moves over to our good air space. And now we gotta clean that back up.
What are these idiots laughing at? They're laughing like he's making the greatest points in the world.
Some of them believe that shit.
This is the dumbest shit I have ever heard. We've got our clean air and it floats over to China, and then their dirty air has to go somewhere. So their dirty air comes over here and we have to clean it.
So if you're a black Republican,
yeah,
you should understand how much respect they have for you as a black Republican. Because I'm pretty sure that there are some intelligent, well-spoken, thoughtful black Republicans who could be running against Raphael Warnock.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't think that you were good enough to be the candidate. They brought this clown in and put this clown in front of you to run against Raphael Warnock. This is how little that they think of you. And this is how little they think of black voters, is that if they could throw this dumbass and his in front of them, that they would vote for him instead. As a black Republican, you should be ashamed and embarrassed by the fact that they put that motherfucker ahead of you.
As anybody who went to the University of Georgia, you should be ashamed.
Yes.
That this guy, as ashamed as if you went to Dartmouth with Dinesh D'Souza.
Yes.
You should be ashamed. Shame.
You know, goddamn well, Herschel didn't go to no classes at the University of Georgia.
Certainly no science classes.
No.
The air. The air moves around the world. That's just how it is.
Yes.
I grew up in the Northeast. We had acid rain. Why did we have acid rain? Because of all the fucking plants in the Midwest.
Yep. Oh, and the good air that he's talking about?
The good air.
The Supreme Court just ruled against the EPA regulating that air.
Yep.
Regulating the cleaning of that air.
Yeah, why should we bother? They're not doing it.
Yes.
Fuck it. None of us need clean air.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Florida.
Okay. Real quick. Real quick. In a bid to recoup $45 debt from a former girlfriend, a Florida woman allegedly copied images from her ex's OnlyFans page and threatened to send the nude photos to the victim's mother and grandmother. That's according to an extortion complaint. Investigators say Eliza Jean Lissamite, who's 24, was in a romantic relationship with the victim, and in the early stages of dating when she threatened to disseminate her nude images, if not paid, $45. Limite, cops charge, went to the victim's OnlyFans page and screenshotted the nude images and saved them to her camera roll without authorization. She then texted one of the nude images to a third party and sent this proof of dissemination to the victim. In a subsequent text to the victim, she allegedly demanded the $45 you owe me, or else she would send your nudes everywhere, and yes, I have them all. Maybe your mom or grandma would want to see them.
Wow.
$45. First of all, your OnlyFans page can't be doing well if you don't have the $45 you owe her. But second of all, I don't want to hear about girl code.
Yeah.
Because I've heard about that. Oh, we got girl code.
He having bullshit. I've spent enough time with women that girl code is bullshit.
I see it on reality TV all the time.
I've lived it. It's bullshit.
Meanwhile, also in Florida, Florida man is facing felony battery charge for allegedly striking a cop with a thrown hot dog.
Cops are so sensitive these
Investigators say that Jason Stoll, 47, was selling hot dogs on a downtown St. Petersburg street when police gave him numerous warnings that he was in violation of a city ordinance. Stoll, however, ignored the warnings, continued to sell hot dogs on the roadway, and after the street closure permit ended, an officer noted in the arrest affidavit the defendant was asked to put the hot dog cart down as he continued to attempt to sell it. When directed to drop the hot dog, he reportedly became extremely upset and threw the item, which is not a sandwich, at the sergeant. The hot dog hit the cop, who was not injured.
Hot dogs.
He was not injured by the hot dog.
He hurt me with a hot dog.
But he was arrested for battery on a law enforcement officer, which is a felony, also charged with resisting a misdemeanor and allegedly struggling with cops as they sought to place him under arrest. He was released after posting $2,650 bond.
Florida.
There you go. That's Florida for you. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Oh, by the way, this just in. Fox News is now saying that gas prices are falling too fast, with a host saying that this decline is historically faster than usual, which is causing independently owned mom-and-pop gas stations to struggle.
Bullshit. Because independently owned mom-and-pop gas stations kept their prices low longer than anybody. They did not try to gouge us. They kept us lower than anybody. And gas prices are falling because we're what? It's July. Guess what? In September, the OPEC deal that Trump cut to save Putin's ass from being bankrupted by the Saudis ends. So more oil is going to be back at the spigot. So they have to rush to get these prices down before this shit happens. Well, this is what's going on.
And there's been no shortage. This isn't a supply and demand thing.
Was never.
All of these companies have been posting record profits through this whole thing. And if you go back and look at how much a barrel of oil is versus a gallon of gas, the price is ridiculous and has been. And it has nothing to do with Joe Biden.
Should have been $3.60 a gallon.
Nothing has anything to do with Joe Biden as we go through this. But that was what it is. Here's the other thing you will notice. If you follow Twitter like I do, and I actually deleted the app on my phone because I was angry way too much of the time. Because I would get on, it's so easy when you have the app on your phone, you tap it, it opens up, and all of the stupidity and the arrogance and the ignorance and the complete and utter bullshit is right there for you. So it's easy to get on, and it's easy to spend too much time on there, which I was doing. So
yes, it is.
I deleted it from my phone. So I log on and look at it in other places. Here's what I will tell you. No matter what it is, as soon as there is good news, the folks on Fox News and the right-wingers on Twitter will immediately find something else to yell about in an attempt to keep their base angry. That's all it is. They want the people that support them and think like them to be angry and outraged at everything at all times. We went from the gas prices are too high to the border is porous. Mike Pompeo, who doesn't give a shit about anybody, literally tweeted about how many people had died because of Joe Biden's quote-unquote open border and that all of these people were being smuggled across by cartels. Now, Mike Pompeo, let me explain something to you real quick. I know you went to a fancy college, and I only went to SUNY Plattsburgh. I get that. But Mike Pompeo, if the borders are open and people are pouring through them, they don't need the cartels to quote-unquote smuggle them through.
No.
They only would need the cartels to smuggle them through if it were difficult to get through the border and they could not do it on their own. So if the border were open, people would just walk on through. It's not. And you know how closed the border is, Kareem? This week in northern Vermont, in Derby Line, Vermont, they arrested 2 Mexican nationals and the person who was trying to bring them into the United States. So it's so not open that Mexicans flew to Canada to try to come in through a very rural border crossing and were still arrested.
Yes.
There was another one in New York State where there's not even a border thing. It's just there's cameras along the border, the Canadian border. There are even some roads where, because this happened to some of my people I went to high school with, that you can drive and go back and forth into Canada. Now, if you do that, you're supposed to go and report. You're supposed to go to Border Patrol and say, hey, I crossed into Canada. Here's what I did. Here's where I came back. They were out collecting bottles and cans. And they got pulled over by Border Patrol because they did not report. This is in the 80s, Kareem. The 80s. So this idea that we have open borders is utter bullshit, Mike Pompeo. And also, you disingenuously included the large group of people who perished in a tractor-trailer fire because they were left locked in the back of a tractor-trailer. You don't give a shit. Nobody gives a shit. This is just one of their... It's like the Republican National Committee sends out an email every day that has a sample tweet. Hey, you should tweet something like this. But they're so fucking lazy. And there's probably like 10 of them. Yeah. They're so lazy, they all tweet out the first one and they copy and paste it because it's virtually identical.
Yeah.
Right down to the dumbass hashtags. And by the way, yes, Joe Biden went to Delaware this weekend. Whoop-de shit. How far is it from DC to Delaware? Motherfucker took a train there for 20-something years while he was in the Senate.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, well, Joe Biden went to Delaware for the weekend. Big whoop-de shit. Trump went to fucking Florida or New Jersey.
Yeah. Oh, and those people that are at the border, guess what the Republicans going to do if they get back in?
What's that?
They're going to let them motherfuckers in because they need some workers.
No, it's true.
This shit's coming.
Yeah. Joe Biden went home to Delaware this weekend. He still hasn't been to the border. What does he need to go to the border for? There's no reason for him to go to the border. They keep the tweets about, we seized all of this fentanyl at the border.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Right?
That's your job.
Oh, my God.
That's what we pay you for.
Oh, my God.
That is what we pay you to do.
Make it stop. The stupidity, make it stop. That is what Twitter is. So if you pay attention at all to right-wing people on Twitter, and I didn't mean to, Kareem. I really didn't. But I started replying and retweeting some things, just to settle people's hash, just because I was pissed.
Yeah.
And then the algorithm takes over and says, "Oh, because you quote tweeted Ronna McDaniel, now all you're going to see is fucking Ronna McDaniel every day, and this idiot and that idiot who are just tweeting nonsense."
Yes.
It becomes. I went from my Twitter experience being pro wrestlers, musicians, and fun things that I enjoyed to just seeing all of Don Jr.'s tweets. And it happened in the space of a week. It happened that quickly.
And speaking of pro wrestling.
Yes, sir.
A&E. Is it A&E?
AEW?
No. They're bringing back legends of the WWE.
Oh. Vince McMahon's legendary hush payments to people he had sex with?
No.
Is that in it? So allegedly $12 million?
They're not talking about that. But there's 2 new series. There's one like last night. I think they talked about The Undertaker last night.
Okay.
And then the next one is on Rivals.
Okay.
So
I have been so far out of the wrestling loop for over a year now. Like,
I'm not paying attention to any of the new shit. Those are just people that I watched.
I have not paid any attention. It just sort of fell off, mostly when we got the second kid.
Yeah.
It's like I don't have the time to keep up with it. I just don't. There's a lot of it. I enjoyed it, but it became a lot to try and keep up with. And I was like, I'll let it fall by the wayside. But
Yes.
but we have watched every episode of Love After Lockup.
Oh, God.
We're fully caught up now. New season starts July 29th on WeTV.
Oh, God.
No plugs, no free plugs. All right, let's wrap this thing up.
Let's leave the hustle and bustle for small town news.
We go to what is essentially my hometown, Orleans, Vermont. Although my hometown is Barton, Vermont, but Orleans is a village in the town of Barton. Kareem, are you following me here?
I'm following.
There are multiple villages in the town.
I understand that well.
So, there was an incident at the Ethan Allen furniture plant.
Really?
Plant in Orleans. That's because crews are battling a fire in a chip silo. The fire chief tells us it was sparked by a malfunctioning boiler, and that embers from the silo also started a couple of other small fires. Those were knocked down quickly. No one is hurt. The mill says operations will resume tomorrow morning. We'll bring you more information as soon as we get it.
There you go. There was a fire. They're closed. Back open tomorrow morning.
Yes.
That's it. That's the thing. So, that is the major employer in that town.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. But the good news is reopen the next day. So we're all good.
Good.
All right. Any last words?
Any last words? Get your shit together. Make sure you get your people out to vote for November.
Yeah.
And hug your mother.
If they're alive, do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely do it. Did you see Gavin Newsom was running ads in Florida?
I love it.
By the way, fuckers, Gavin Newsom won that recall by so much. He's like, I don't need to spend campaign money in California.
No.
I'm just going to fuck with Ron DeSantis. And I'm about it.
Yes.
Now, there's a lot of people going, well, this means he's going to run. This means he's going to run. I don't know that it does mean he's going to run.
I would not be opposed to it.
I don't know. I go back and forth on the dude. I really do. He's smart, but he also does some dumb shit.
Yeah, he married Kimberly Guilfoyle.
Guilfoyle.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. There's a lot of things he does that I'm like, but we'll see. I mean, here's the thing. If Joe Biden doesn't run, Kamala Harris.
I'd rather have Gavin.
Really? Interesting.
Actually, I would have rather had Elizabeth Warren, but
Well.
white people won't vote for her. So
She lost the primary in her own state.
yes. So I would rather have Gavin. Just because
Interesting.
I know that. Actually, I would rather have Stacey Abrams.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And that is entirely possible. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Or Joe Biden could run again.
Yeah, I actually think Stacey Abrams should be the first woman president.
We will indeed see. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us for now. Remember, Twitter should be fun, and if it's not fun, take it off your phone. All right.
That's right.
And Jason, we'll see you soon. I think he's back next week, but because he's traveling, I don't want him in the same room with me.
So actually, let's do next week remote because my girlfriend's going to Hawaii for the week.
Done.
So
Done.
She's gone Friday to Friday.
Perfect. So yeah, next week we'll be back, each in our own individual homes, Maybe I'll come into the studio. I don't know, but we'll be broadcasting. I want to try something new next week.
Okay,
that's perfect. So we'll see you next time. Until then, be nice to each other, unless of course the other is a Proud Boy or a Nazi. Then
yes,
fuck them.
That's right.
Yep. All right. Bye, everybody.